I wonder, has anyone got a really good email password that they would be willing to share with me?
It's like my credit card as well.
I would need the PIN, I think, but what's your email password, Dave?
Oh, it's just very, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of on. It's
I
pretty.
thought you were my friend. Fair enough, Dave. This is an excerpt from Afterword number 1. This book has a trail of lost people. First, the GCHQ poet who authored the poems. Then the poet, Fowler, he left his collection to before he himself was lost. Then the journalist Fowler passed his manuscript to before he was lost. It's quite possible the other employees of GCHQ who had so frivolously analysed their colleagues' poems, seemingly drawn themselves into the coded harmfulness of poetry, may also have become estranged from their usual locations. Excerpt from Afterword number 2. Note to readers from an anonymous journalist, current whereabouts unknown. You will undoubtedly know by now these documents were leaked to the offices of Redacted Blank in Winter Redacted Blank, presumably by a staff member at GCHQ in Cheltenham. To what end remains elusive. They have been described as a storm in a teacup by the press. I think my sense that they are actually in a sort of code and are not poetry as such remains a reasonable suspicion. Excerpt from Afterword number 3. Introduction by S.J. Fowler. Printed as discovered, his current whereabouts unknown. Dear reader, you are about to read the tale of a GCHQ analyst gone rogue into poetry by the medium of the book. No e-book of this volume is likely to be published, so unless the workmates of our protagonists fancy ordering this collection of their former colleagues' poems that I discovered unattended in an abandoned folio on the train from London Paddington to Bristol during 2021, when I wasn't supposed to be travelling, but I just fancied a break, then there should be no way of them peeking in digitally to find their own emails amidst all the poems. The GCHQ poet must have found their emails about the poems, printed them, and left them for me, knowing my reputation. They may even have analysed me online and I didn't even know it. But I've got myself a VPN now, so everything should be fine. But hardly can these word redacted blank I found be called poems. They are barely understandable and certainly offer no clear emotional insight or direct redacted blank opinions. They are little more than an onanistic sequence of novelties. You. So appears a deer, the enemy of the goblin. The deer that appears licking your ears. It's a warning of the forest that you are a cave, that you are what you live within, that you are your computer too much, that the deer becomes the old people who caused you, then warn you. That is, the hob is now the snakes, and the bird is now become the tree, and the deer says, if you had to be a baby again, you would have to face what's coming again. You would never again be what you are, and thank God. But not God split into more than one, like a cell dividing the original troll. You would propagate throughout the world through bland memories that have yet to be, of a time before there was what there is. If you had a rock, you'd use it as a tool, you'd make fire, you'd make metal that makes machines, that puts chips in pig's head. And where's deer then? All royal antlers and pink tongues. Pig over deer, over lion, over goblin. The creatures of the dark that rocks the mind plastic in your blood. You'd keep the rock in a glass case beside your pig pen. Then your pig would see, and eventually make a rock of the exact same dimensions from its ordure, and as the rock in a case it would present back to you as a gift, or bash your brains in, blood for the blood god. If you were a plant, you'd be placed within a crowd. You'd watch and pretend, and you'd belong because you'd not be the only one. You aren't mystical, but a little royal. You are crowned for tiny tiers of technology that the gobshites of the internet open-mouthed. You are the search seeking a crusade, just in case the light turns on you. You are assigned to a street that does not exist, a queue outside a busy toilet. You are the children's play area. Stop touching my bloody arm on this crusade, you aren't half hairy. You are a good job recruiter for the great dog of that donor working on commission, buying jelly from the marrow of the private sector. You are the tickled pig of rock and roll. You are a crowd collect people log. I believe again, you shout. This has all made us believe again, a new crusade. And the horrible affectation of non-crowds grows too, and the badgers are loosed upon the village, and the signs descend, red rivers and time stops, and against plugs and anything behind them, and anything that generates electricity should be destroyed. Let's get walking. To the east, you preach. Do you really need the word organic? Organic republic. Everything you eat becomes so as you do so. On the way you find the outhouse is closed, but you can use the bushes. As you march, you sing work life, tech giants, investment capital, high-speed something, horror dislocation, monster-sizing videos, yeah. It's like a mass myocardial infarction, scared to find things in your history files. You are whether you want to. Your children learn on tablets. Now think of your life and get deleting. No, thank you for sending. You join the Masons for the vouchers. You get coupons with the right hand signal. You clutch your snake and it bites your tit. You are the statue in your own flat. You leak doubt like thoughts you no longer truly believe. You are better off, but worse feeling. Whenever you have a job interview and are asked, how would you describe yourself? You always answer without a second's hesitation. Well, you are getting to know my face right now. Where is the deer in all of this? It is a pig born without legs visiting children in a hospital. You are clear text, you're plain text. You're the bed of the world like a hammock. You are the capital, the carrot that needs no stick. You scream, big, sweet milkmaid. You are on the top of the earth where bodies of people freeze, but you have to keep going, up. You are never lonely. You've got your bird, watching, until you speak with a deer at your ear, and it's typing, and you're reading, and it says, what's this then we're watching? Thank you. I would never throw paper in you. If you could tear one off and pass it along. Thank you for coming.